Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Bottom of the Top Podcast YouTube channel, where we will be uploading some clips from our full episodes as well as some bonus content. If you want to find the full episode, search Bottom of the Top on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcasts at. But regardless, hope you enjoy this content. Hello, what's going on, everybody? This is our first YouTube bonus special. We're going to be giving our thoughts on the new J. Cole album that was released last night. Ryan, you had a chance to listen to it?
Yeah, actually, I listened to it. So it takes me about an hour. It took me like an hour, 15 minutes to get to work this morning.
Yeah.
So I actually listened
We
to it
haven't talked about this at
twice.
all, too.
Yeah, I listened to it twice through this morning and then once all the way through on the way home. So,
Nice. What were your thoughts? What were your general thoughts on it?
well, you know, let's give some background information first. So, this is J. Cole's fifth album,
I think it's
I
his
believe.
fifth album. Yeah.
Fifth album. And I'm gonna be honest. I thought it was good. So last week we were talking on the podcast a little bit, and I was saying how I've never really I like J. Cole's music, but I'm not one of those dudes who just listens to it religiously. I'm not a huge J. Cole fan. I'll put it that way. But I went back this past week, and ever since I found out he was releasing a new album, I went back and actually listened to his old albums all the way through. Because I realized I hadn't really done that in
Yeah.
the first place. So I went back and listened to him all through, and what I noticed is he has 5 albums, and basically each album, starting from the beginning, got better in my opinion. Um, and with that being said, there was always like in each album, I would say I didn't like every song, but I liked a
I,
lot of it, maybe like 5 or 6 songs
yeah.
that I would actually listen to, more than once.
Yeah.
And with this album, I can honestly say that I think, in my opinion, this is his best album yet.
Really?
I think I would listen to, if not every song,
Mm-hmm.
at least 10 of the songs,
Wow.
like just on a
There's only 12
regular
songs on it.
schedule. Yeah. So I know coming from a not, what's the word? Like, I'm not really a big J. Cole fan,
Yeah.
but this was definitely his best album in my opinion. Um, I think Kanan would maybe agree with me on that, just because he's a good J. Cole fan. We haven't spoken to him, or at least I haven't.
I have spoke to him.
Oh, we'll have to get into that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But anyways, after this album, I'm actually gonna say J. Cole is in my top 5 of most talented rappers.
Wow. So your opinion shifted pretty heavily
It
after
did.
listening to his older work and then listening to this.
It did, because the one thing I noticed is that there's not, like, he doesn't take a step backwards. A lot of artists these days, they come out with new music and it's just not as good as some of their old stuff.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, J. Cole really, every time he releases an album, he takes a step forward. Um, and the thing with J. Cole is a lot of his music sounds the same. And the stuff he raps about, he raps a lot about racial discrimination and not being rich, stuff like that. But even though it all kind of sounds the same, it gets better each time.
Yeah.
And the fact that he can do that, and to lyrically put out a, what's the word, a new meaning in each one of his albums,
Yeah.
makes him top 5 most talented rappers on my list.
Wow. I wasn't expecting that from you, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah. Just because I knew you weren't a huge fan, but I could see why someone who may not be as invested in his music would like this album. Um yeah, so I actually talked to Kanan about it. We were going to try to get him on here to discuss it with us, but since we couldn't, I've listened to the album 4 times through now just to kind of get my solidified opinion. And me and Kanan actually ended up feeling pretty similar about it. My initial thoughts on it was I listened to it last night when it came out, and I felt kind of underwhelmed by it. And I knew that listening to it a couple more times, I would get a better opinion on it. And I didn't really know why I felt like that. I thought I may have just been tired when I was listening to it, but what I've always loved about J. Cole is that he always has a very deep theme within his records. You look back to Forest Hills Drive, he's talking about his roots, where he came from, kind of growing up, and kind of, that was kind of his come up album, where he talked about the way he was raised, and some of the sufferings and stuff that he went through as a child in his household, and some of the street life that he had witnessed in his life. And so that's what that record kind of was for me. And there were some songs that didn't necessarily have to do with that, but it was a good record. And then there's a song called "Love Yours," which I think is one of, if not his best song ever, that kind of closes out that album. Just talking about self-identity and treating yourself, the right way. Great song. That song touched me emotionally when I listened to it back in the day when it came out. And then KOD, which was the next album that came out, was had a lot to do with the theme of being addicted to something, even if it's not drugs, whether it's another person, like a relationship, money, power. Drugs is a part of it, but just being addicted to something that can potentially lead to harmful results. And so that was something I thought was very timely when it came out, and it was cool the way that he wrote it. Very deep theme in it. With this album, excuse me, I've listened to it 4 times, and I still feel kind of the same way. And Kanan had a couple different takes on it, but we both kind of felt similarly about it. We've been, J. Cole fans for a very long time, so this may have something to do with it. To me, this felt like it was more of like if this were a mixtape, I would be okay with it. It's decent to me, but my issue with it is the themes. I wrote a bunch of notes for each track. I listened to it. I studied the lyrics and the sound and everything. To me, it just feels like a little bit watered down compared to what he normally puts out in his albums. I think some of the production was good. There are a few songs. There was a song called "Pride Is the Devil." I like that song a lot. There was a song, "The Climb Back," which is towards the end. The second half of the album is pretty good to me. But the stuff he talks about in this is like speaking from the perspective of himself when he was younger, when he was on the come up. Some of the stuff that he witnessed, like Section 8 households, guns, violence, being fearful for his life growing up, feeling like he had to act tough around certain people, and that's what got him through. But he's talked about this on previous records and previous songs, and in a more interesting way, I feel like. And this whole concept of the off season is like, working when you're not on the spotlight, and what goes on, what you do behind the scenes that kind of makes you who you are, which I like that theme. I like that message. But the running theme that I kept running into when I would look at the lyrics and when I would listen to it is just like, it's kind of like cocky, prideful, which is fine, but then he's got the song "Pride Is the Devil," where he talks about pride is actually what kills you. And there are lyrics on there that, I'm trying to find it. "Pride is the devil. It's left so many RIP, terrified, paranoid. I'll put you over everything to fill the void," blah, blah, blah. He's going on about this pride stuff. And I don't know. To me, it was like braggadocious type rap, which is cool, but it's not something I would have expected in a time where there's so much going on in the world that these artists that have such a large spotlight have the opportunity to talk about. And that's something J. Cole seems to have always done, is talk about stuff that's important, that's going on in society and in the world. And I'm not saying it's his responsibility or I don't like him anymore because he didn't talk about it, but you think about the stuff that's happened over the past couple of years, and there really wasn't any mention of it. It was basically like him going on about how he's one of the greats, but he's already proved himself as one of the greats. And so I think that was my problem with it, is he's going on about all this stuff, and it sounds like this is a record that should have came out back on his come up. It's like, yeah, you've proven yourself already. Um, and I don't know. I like it. I know I sound very like pessimistic towards it. I like it, but it's nowhere near the past two albums for me. Forest Hills Drive and
Yeah.
KOD. It doesn't touch those in my opinion. I think those are Forest Hills Drive is one of my favorite albums of all time. That one's up there. KOD, I re-listened to last week, and I liked it a lot more than when I first listened to it. I would have to go back and listen to his first projects to rate this one, but as of right now, just based on my remembrance from listening to the projects, I would probably put it at a tie with like his sophomore album that he had released, his second one. Um, but yeah, I don't know, man. I think I went into it with very high hopes, and I wasn't like disappointed, but at the same time, it wasn't what I was expecting, which isn't necessarily bad. And I tried to convince myself to like it more. But just based on what he's done in the past, I think that's what my main gauge is for it. Just the
You know,
standard that he's set.
that could be part of it too, is going in with high hopes. Cause like, I mean, like I said, I'm not really a huge J. Cole fan. So
Yeah.
like I'm just kind of listening to it to listen to it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not expecting too much.
Right.
And so that could be a reason why I like it so much. I don't know. Uh you talk about like KOD and stuff like that. I also liked his For Your Eyes Only album. That
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
before this one, that was my favorite album of his.
Right.
Um, I thought it was pretty cool how I can't, it was on, I know he didn't have any features on KOD. I don't think he had any features on the For Your Eyes Only one, but he went platinum in both.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
For Your Eyes Only actually was after Forest Hills Drive. My bad. I was leaving that one out. But yeah, that was a good album as well.
yeah, but did you actually read the summary on Apple Music for it,
For what?
for the album?
No, I didn't.
It's pretty interesting because I didn't know Damian Lillard
Yeah, he did the
is
outro.
actually,
Damian Lillard did the outro for one of the songs.
yeah.
He's speaking about.
And he's got this whole basketball themed album
Yeah.
because he's actually playing in Africa.
Yes, he's in the African League now. I did hear
Yeah,
about
which is
that.
like a professional league in
Yeah,
Africa.
and he's great at basketball. I don't know if you've
So
ever seen videos of it, but
I always know like he's always liked basketball, but I've never
yeah,
seen him play. Apparently, he's
yeah,
pretty good
he's
though.
really good. Yeah, he's very good.
So that's where the
And
whole basketball album cover comes from. I was a
yeah,
little
and there's
confused with
themes of
that, but
that run through the album. But I honestly think I was just expecting something a little bit more serious, a little bit more dramatic, just with all the stuff that's been going on. I know we're kind of on a uphill trajectory with a lot of that stuff, but just some of the social issues and stuff that's been going on. I just felt like he would speak on that more. But to me, this is like a turn up type, like upbeat project, which I'm not against.
I think that's why I may like it more because you know how
Yeah,
I am.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know I
yeah,
like the upbeat stuff. That's
yeah,
another reason why I may like that a
yeah.
little
It's
more.
fun.
But
It's a fun album. But yeah, it's just to me, it was just a little bit underwhelming. Um,
do you have a favorite song on it?
yeah, "Pride Is the Devil" was actually my favorite song after listening to it multiple times.
It's because Little Baby's in it, isn't it?
No, that's my least favorite part of the song. He had a feature from Lil Baby and he had a feature from 21 Savage, and the Lil Baby feature is not terrible, but the 21 Savage feature, God,
It's
it was
terrible.
awful. It was terrible, and it
It's
had
almost like
nothing to
you're I mean you're
do with the message of the song either. The song's called "My Life," and J. Cole's rapping from like the perspective he was in before he made it, like talking about how he can't be here mopping up Wendy's, and you know what I mean, like can't be in the situation he's in. And then 21 Savage comes in with a terrible verse that has nothing to do with the rest of the song. And between like it doesn't say he doesn't have the features listed on his album, so it seems like 21 Savage was just like just in case You don't know who I am. I'm just gonna say 21 before all my bars. Did you hear that? Like between every
Yeah.
line, it was like 21, 21. I'm
So
like,
so
dude.
listen to this. In the summary, it actually says J. Cole went platinum with no features, but in the scope of the energy we get from him on the off season, it's less likely that he's been avoiding other rappers than that he's just left them all behind.
Yeah,
So, I mean, having okay, first off, having 21 Savage
yeah.
on
It threw
any
me off
album
completely.
besides his own is just terrible.
Yeah,
But it also gets you kind of thinking, like maybe J. Cole did this for a reason
yeah.
to kind of prove that he's obviously one of the greatest rappers.
Yeah, but to me, it's been proven already, and
I mean, yeah,
I
he doesn't
think
need to
J
prove it.
Cole. I know. I think that that's what bothers me too, is J Cole is rapping from this hungry, like I'm the great, like I'm on the Mount Rushmore of rappers. He mentioned something like that, but it's like, bro, it seems like he's trying to like prove that, and to me, and to the majority of audiences, even if you don't like him, you can say he's one of the goats and he's one of the legends of rap. And so to me, it just felt like, I don't know. It's like he's trying to prove something that he's already proved multiple times.
Yeah, I agree.
The 21
I can
Savage
see that.
feature threw me off completely because obviously it's not in the track listing. And so when I heard him come in, I was like, oh no. And I was like, just
Oh
please don't be
no.
terrible. And it was terrible. That's the worst. That was the worst part of the album to me. But uh, yeah, there was like I said, the second half of the album I liked more than the first one. Pride is the Devil. Um,
My
uh,
favorite was Amari. I like that
yeah,
song.
Amari was the best song on the first half, and then Close, and the Climb Back, and then Interlude I liked, which he released before the album, as
Yeah.
that was the only single, and I thought he finished it okay with the final song on the album, um, but I don't know. To me, that's like hearing that was like this sounds more like a mixtape to me because the themes weren't, very solidified. It was kind of all over the place. Some of it was repetitive. It just didn't seem like it was up to par with his albums. He's released EPs and like singles. Like last year he released a couple of tracks um, that were I thought were better than any of the songs on this album. But like I said, it's not terrible. What I did like about it, I know I sounded like I've just been shitting on it the whole time, but I did like a lot of the production. He had a different producer on each song, and he actually produced the final track himself. Which again, I like that song. I think lyrically, I mean, he's a lyricist regardless of what he's talking about. He knows how to flow. There were specific songs where it was like got me pretty hyped up. I think Amari was one of those.
Yeah.
Um, he starts going off towards the end. Um, but yeah, I mean, some of his flows were good. The writing is always good, even if I don't necessarily love it thematically and what he's talking about, and it may seem a little bit repetitive at times. He's talented and he's skilled, and that definitely shows on the album. I think I just went in as well as Kanan, who's also a huge fan. I think J. Cole is his favorite artist in general. I think that's what he said. But we kind of felt the same way about it, and so I think that is probably something that maybe his hardcore fans feel. I don't know. I really haven't looked at any reviews or feedback on it yet. But that's the way I came out of it feeling, and I'm glad that you liked it. I think it does make sense for someone who's not as invested to listen to it. If I had never heard J. Cole and I heard this album, I would probably like it a lot more than I do.
Yeah, that makes sense
And
though.
if this was an artist that I'm not too fond of and they released a record like this, I would, I would probably respect it more. I think my opinion is just coming through my expectations. It's not a bad album, and I don't love it. It's not great. Underwhelmed is the best word I can use to describe it.
Yeah.
Um,
And every point you've made has been a valid point.
yeah.
So,
What do you score wise? What do you think?
I'm gonna say I'm gonna go with 9 on this one. 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
Yep.
I think I'm gonna give it a. I think I'm gonna give it a 6.7.
Okay.
Six point
I
seven.
thought I was being really generous.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna give it a 6.7. Are you are you
Okay.
are you surprised by that score?
Uh, not after what you said,
Yeah.
but I mean, like I said, it makes sense. Like you made a lot of really good points about it.
Yeah, and to me, when I'm scoring at a record, that I can't think of. I can maybe think of three that are like a 9 or above for me. I'm just
Yeah.
very picky when I rate stuff, but yeah, that's my thoughts, and it could change the more I listen to it. But after listening to it 4 times, it's been out for less than 24 hours. So, but those are our initial thoughts. Do you have anything else you want to say about it?
I'm good. I think we made our points. We gave our opinions.
Yeah, we're going at 21 minutes here. 21 Savage, but
Oh gosh.
no, I'm just kidding. But all right, guys. Well, thank you for listening. This will be up on the YouTube channel. If you listened, we appreciate it and expect more bonus content on here. If you haven't, go check out our podcast if you found this review and you like podcasts. We talk about music, we talk about movies, we talk about sports, we talk about entertainment, we do some trivia, we have a good time. Yeah, go check that out. But Ryan, if you don't got nothing else,
Like
uh,
and subscribe.
like and subscribe. Smash that like button. Press that subscribe button. Share it with your friends. Anyways, thanks for listening again. Peace out.